Hello, everybody. I'm Eric Hampton,
And I'm Pamela Hampton.
and this is a
Couples Conversation. We'd like to welcome you.
And today's topic is stop acting like you're okay. And this is very personal for us.
Yes.
Over the weekend, someone close to us gave us a call, and they was feeling depressed and having anxieties and concerns and things, and it was very concerning.
Yes.
And then I spoke to someone else over the weekend, and they too was having the same concerns. And as Pam and I started talking, we started realizing there's a subject an undercurrent that people do, and that when you ask them how they're doing, they love to say,
I'm fine.
And
it's reactionary. It's like almost like rhetorical. Someone says, how you doing? You say, I'm fine. But are you really? Perhaps not. Perhaps you're just going through the motions and you're not actually feeling what you're feeling. You don't know what you're feeling.
And a lot of times that's because we've been conditioned to just say what we think people want to hear. And we've not been conditioned to be honest and authentic with ourselves and with others. And that sounds a little cynical, but it's just the truth. We tend to put on a front about a lot of things, what's going on in our lives, or we don't want to put our business out there, and so we call ourselves being private, but we're internalizing and taking things in, and it's creating some depression and some anxiety and especially here in America, where my wife and I live, and we realized that. I've always said that depression and anxiety is primarily a first world issue because it's based on your perception of your life, and your perception is always being based up against someone else, or what your family, what your friends, or what your neighborhood, or your culture. And so you're basing your self and your accomplishments and where you are in life against something, and it's creating this conclusion.
And it's really false. We are fed those things since we're younger, and we accept them as, this is what I'm supposed to be married by a certain age, I'm supposed to have children by a certain age, I'm supposed to be at a certain degree with education or in my work. But that's actually wrong. It's false information, because not everyone's going to be in the same place. You should base it on where you choose, and each day that may change. And if you're not where you think you ought to be, it's kind of like, and I told our friend, I said, we'll decide, okay, well, I didn't do that, but that's okay. I'm going to change directions or decide to do something different. And you give yourself permission to be where you are and change directions, so that you're not owning something that's false, which creates that feeling of less than, which can bring you on that downward spiral of depression. And the disconcerting thing was, had that person not talked about it, they could have taken it steps further.
And that's the part that we want to talk about, because when we say that we're fine and we're okay, oftentimes things aren't as bad as we think they are, or as we say they are. This particular person, and how many of you can say or experience it within yourself, that if you really looked at your life and compared it, again, with the comparison, but comparison to other people in other world, or even in your city or in your town, you can find things that are going on in your life that is actually better than a lot of people. A lot of people don't have hot water, don't have their own house, their own car, a place to lay their head, food to eat, and yet we still internalize our personal situation as being so bad that we want to claim and depression and low self-esteem and just want to settle into this mindset that things aren't good for us, and then we lie and say they are when we're internalizing that they're not, and then we create this whole world of problems for ourselves.
Yep. And that viewpoint won't work for you. It generally doesn't work for anyone. We're lying to ourselves when we say that we're fine and when we're not. It's okay to not be fine when you're not. It's actually a better thing to own where you are. Now, I'm not saying go and lament every single problem you have. That's not solution oriented. Solution oriented is seeing where you are, deciding that's not working for you and making a decision to do something different. So those words of affirmation, those positive words, if that's not what you're feeling, that is not going to work. That's not how positive affirmations work. It starts from the inside. And it starts from making, the small changes. You make the small changes heading you in the direction of your goals, your dreams, or where you actually want to be. But also, one last thing I want to say, talk about your feelings. It's okay. You're not in that boat alone. You don't even know who else is in that boat until you start talking. Share where you are.
So if you don't trust the people around you, or the people that you don't think that your feelings are something that you want to share with somebody, you got to find somebody. You got to we're in a world where we're, as human beings, we are interactive people. This is what a lot of things, when people say coronavirus is creating depression in America or around the world, it's not the coronavirus, it's the absence of being able to connect with one another that's actually creating these depressions. A lot of times, just knowing that you can go somewhere and connect with somebody or talk to somebody on a more personal level other than a Zoom call or a telephone is that energy helps.
Yes.
If you're not getting that's going to create some problems. But I believe that America and a lot of first world countries has been suffering from quote unquote depression long before coronavirus came in, because we judge ourselves too hard. And then we judge ourselves that hard, and then we lie and say we're okay, but internally we're judging ourselves. And so when we say stop acting, we're not saying go run on a pity party and go tell everybody all your problems, but what we're saying is internally, be more authentic with yourself. Be more, tell the truth to yourself. And if someone asks you how you doing, don't, I'm just fine. Don't just blurt out, I'm just fine. Just say, well, I have some things I'm working on, or something like that. Mm-hmm. Just being honest with yourself is the stepping stone towards
feeling better
and better results, in your life.
Let's get to a better place by doing the next right thing for you. So look at it, look inside, decide what you want to change. Make those decisions, share with someone, an accountability partner, and then do something different. We wish you the best of life.
See you later.
Peace.